we actually did anything right. Because when I tell you about this film, you'll say, you guys must be nuts to do this. In short, this was a film that shot on a remote island in Kenya. No running water, no electricity. We had 10 Canadians go over, that would be 2 non-union actors and 8 crew people, which included Tom and myself, by the way. And I wouldn't call us great crew people, but we were the best we could afford at the time. And so there were 10 of us from Canada that went there, worked with locals who had, in many cases, never seen a feature film, certainly never been in the theater and never seen a television show of a film. But weirdly enough, in this remote area in Kenya, everyone had a cell phone, so people had seen movies before, but had never worked on a film set. The film commissioner in the area of Kenya where we were, who came out because he needed to make sure things were being done properly.
Which means get paid, by the way.
Which meant, yeah, we had to pay him, something, grease his palm somehow. Any event, and we'll talk about that too. He basically came for 10 days, left after 1. He said his mother was sick, if we just paid him a little money, he'd go away. But he never had seen a feature film shoot in this part of Kenya. This is not Nairobi. This is a plane ride away from Nairobi to the other side of Kenya, and then after a plane ride, a van ride for an hour, then a ferry boat ride for an hour, and then one more ride before we got to our location. So, yeah, a documentary had once shot in this area, but never a feature film. So the fact that we had dollies and we had, red cameras and things like this were just completely different. Any event, so we shot in 15 days, mostly at nights. We shot about 20 days, 18 days, but we had intended to take days off. There was only 1 day off permitted because we were so busy trying to recapture shots during this whole thing. Mostly we're shooting at night. Tom and I tag teamed, so sometimes we'll look at each other, because I was there for the first half and he was there for the second half. But when Tom was there, we shot all nights, and of course had to hire armed guards to be with us at those nights, because there really is no electricity, and you did have to worry sometimes about losing equipment, or worse. So sometimes the security guards, I think you told me they used to sleep on their guns.
Yeah, we had, after a robbery the second time, we actually ended up, I went to the local police station and hired the local police in a rather astronomical sum compared to what most people made, because again, I had some issues coming in. I thought I wasn't going to quite make it, quite frankly, and waiting, that's another story. We actually ended up having an armed policeman with a machine gun in front of the front car of the convoy, and an armed policeman with a machine gun in the back of the convoy. And everywhere we went, we had armed police because of issues, because we had so much cash on us. We had to, in Kenya, the banking system is a little.
Oh, that means they have lots of money when delivering.
Electricity, so that there was no infrastructure, there was no sanitation, there was no refrigeration, there was no windows, there was no doors, etc. So the idea of people walking around with little bags of cash is quite an incentive for certain individuals to get to know us, shall we say. So anyway, bit of an aside.
Very quickly, I'll tell you how the film came to be, and then I'd love to show you our trailer. I think that'll give you a better idea what we're talking about. A woman by the name of Rowan Nielsen had gone to Kenya as on one of these voluntourism trips. She was going to work at an orphanage in Rusinga Island, Kenya, but I wasn't going to work especially hard, but get to know the people. And actually fell in love with the people, and the people fell in love with her, and she was eventually adopted by family. In fact, one of the grandchildren was named Baby Rowan, named after Rowan. She kept in touch with these people, and Rowan is, as we later learned, Rowan has been a director for television for a number of years and never done a feature film, but is a natural storyteller and wanted to do something to give back to this island. She just loved the people and wanted to do something, and she thought, why don't I make a film, and somehow the profits will go to this island, their story will be told, because people are so wonderful. And again, just to be somewhat descriptive, there are a lot of orphans on this island. AIDS is rampant, malaria is rampant, yet everyone has a smile on their face. Kids are in school. Kids are doing very well in school. They just have no money to go on beyond their basic elementary education. So Rowan, through a friend, Carol, who we had done work with before, was a lot more of a line producer type. Carol introduced Rowan to us introduced the script to us. The rest was history once we read that and we saw the passion that Rowan had for this project, and we realized, you know, Tom and I are business guys first, you know, creative people as well, but business guys first, and we realized this wasn't just a great story, but this had real commercial potential to do something very different, and I'll get into that in a second, the research that we did. In any event, so why don't we show the trailer, see kind of a little bit of the quality of what we're talking about.
I think this is what we were talking about.
Welcome to beautiful Singer Island in Portugal. Enjoy your stay here. No. Sometimes it's hotter.
You speak English very well.
This is a film shown by what they've done.
Yeah, you know, some things are better left unsaid. The island can be very dangerous. Do you see police here? We have no police.
If you stay inside at night, you have nothing to be frightened of.
Hello? Check.
They are witches. They are hooligans.
They are demons.
They come at night. Awesome. Yeah, we got days too.
They are some cowards. We all know.
Welcome to adventure.
There you go. So, you know, when I look even at the trailer, and I say, you know, there's so many stories behind every shot, every idea that happened. I'll give you a bit of a chronology. This is taken from the time we actually shot the film until today. Actually, Tom and I were laughing over lunch because I thought it was 1 year. It's actually close to 2 years now. I've lost track of time. We got the film in the can, I would say, a month after we shot. We very quickly raced to get an edit done by someone who was more of a documentary editor and part of the team. And we didn't love what the film looked like. You know, we went to all the trouble to go to Kenya, and quite honestly, I think Tom always had the expression, you need to smell the plastic on this. To smell the burning plastic on the island. People are burning their garbage in front of their homes, and plastic is a smell you get used to there. And
Isn't that dangerous?
and you know, we just couldn't feel it. We didn't have the shots, and it took 9 months to find the right editor and the right price for that editor to put together what we think is a tremendous dramatic film.
Oh,
And now we are in post and close to the end of post. In fact, the final sound mix will be probably a week or two from now. We've applied to a number of festivals, you know, fingers crossed that we get into one of the big ones. We will continue applying. Part of our strategy is not to apply to Canada first. We are firmly of the view that to be successful in Canada, you first have to be successful somewhere else, and then Canadians will embrace you for it.
really?
TIFF is too far away. TIFF wants a worldwide premiere. If timing were better, maybe we would go to TIFF, but honestly, it's not a big priority for us. We could do just as well as ZIFF, which is the Zanzibar Film Festival, or Sundance, or who knows what other festival. And it'd be nice, yeah. So, in any event, our strategy, weirdly enough,